Shalom. We want to give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua,
Wa, Kodash, Ha, Rakah. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you brothers that are teaching the truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. We're coming at you live for, well, not live actually, but we're coming at you live through the Spirit with a prophecy. And this brother, now he got a article going into World War III. It's just a World War III update, and it's special too, pursuant to Revelations chapter 11-14. If anybody got them right now, you can go ahead and pull that scripture. I'll pull it.
Revelation what?
11-14.
Yeah.
It talks about the 3 wars, and we're in that time now. And Matthew chapter 24 goes into about the war happening, man. Rumors of war. Elam, or India in the modern day term, which is Elam in the scriptures, they're testing nuclear missiles for America. You know, they're a threat. North Korea, I think you said North Korea.
Yeah.
South Korea.
North Korea and South Korea are officially going to unify for the Winter Olympics. So instead of one country using one flag and one country using another, they're going to unify and bring it unify together and have one flag for these Winter Olympics. You know.
Hey, what it says in the scripture too: every man should return to his own land, pursuant to the scriptures. Because there's nothing but Ammon and Moab in those countries over there in Asia. A lot of these people are going to return to their own homes, and EU and NATO, you know, they're going to have trouble too. But at the same time, they're still going to fight this war with America. That great war. So you got that on Revelations.
Revelation 11-14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
Yeah, the woe, that word woe goes into destruction. Okay, the first World War already happened. Second World War already happened. Now we're in the time of the Third World War. We're just not at the apex of it now, but we're getting closer to it. You know, according to the scriptures, and America displaying that doomsday clock. You can go ahead.
All right, this is from CNN.com. It says India test fires Agni-V, a nuclear-capable ICBM. And that stands for Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. Alright, this is from New Delhi, India. India has successfully test-fired a long-range intercontinental ballistic missile, the country's defense ministry said Thursday. The nuclear-capable Agni-V is believed to be India's most advanced ICBM. It was fired Thursday morning, India time, from Abdul Kalam Island off the coast of the eastern shore of Odisha, the ministry said in a tweet. It called the test a major boost to the country's defense capabilities. And it says India is estimated to have around 120 to 130 nuclear warheads in its arsenal, according to the Federation of American Scientists, compared to several thousand for the United States. And you know, that's in on that.
Right. You go ahead and expound on that out.
But read one more time how many nuclear weapons it said that India has.
It says India is estimated to have around 120 to 130 nuclear warheads in its arsenal.
And that's one thing, you know, that you really can't be simple about. You know, you really got to understand what that means. 120. So we said 130, 140, over 100 nuclear weapons, man. Now you really have to really conceptualize and process the amount of damage and destruction that actually can bring. You know, even we brought out the precept in Revelations 11. You know, you think about the destruction that happened at the conclusion of World War II. You know, those 2 atomic bombs being detonated in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Those were devastating weapons, man. You know, thousands and thousands upon thousands of people died, and that was an atomic weapon, and there was 2 of them. So how much damage could 100+ nuclear weapons bring, man? A lot of damage, man.
I got a precept on that too.
Oh, sure.
This is Revelation chapter 9, verse 16. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them, which those horsemen are talking about the nuclear warhead missiles. Because it's not literally talking about horsemen, but horsemen goes to war, right? The missiles are built by men, and they're shooting off and going to war. We're not going to war, but they're causing destruction in this war.
Right.
And verse 17, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplate of fire, and jacksened and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issued fire. See, out of their mouth, what the missile does is issue out fire, and smoke and brimstone, because ain't no natural man finna spit out fire, man.
Right.
We ain't talking about them damn men at, you see on vacations in Hawaii. Yeah, got the little the marshmallows,
split out.
Yeah, we talking about them, man. We talking about literally missiles.
And if I could say 2, and then 2, don't be simple, man. Let's say 200,000, 200 million. So I mean, of course, there ain't no person,
Right.
That's an actual number. And if I could say 2, real quick, Baba Kushad, this is really the beginning stages of this nuclear technology, man. Like the scriptures say, and we wholeheartedly believe in the scriptures, man. Point blank, period. Whether you hear and understand it or take it as truth or not, we don't really care. We believe in what the scriptures say. So when it says 200,000, 200 million nuclear warheads are going to be shot in the air, and are going to create this magnificent destruction that's going to be brought upon the earth by Yahweh Shem Shah. This is really the beginning of what's getting ready to happen, man. Like the brother brought out, it says roughly 120, 140 nuclear weapons. See, really, these countries and these governments are developing this technology to develop just the initial portion stages of being able to shoot these missiles off. Because what's coming out is that these missiles can actually carry multiple warheads. So just because they have 120, 140 weapons now, you got to understand that once these countries and governments do an effective job of creating weapons that are going to be able to shoot the missile aspect of it, all you got to do is mass produce the actual warhead. And that's what's going to create that exponential growth to get it from the thousands of warheads that are on the earth today to the millions that are going to be produced in the day of Yahweh Shem Shah's judgment.
I got a precept. We're talking about the missiles, and this is what's going to happen when these missiles hit, Babylon, aka America. This is Isaiah 24:20. It says, "The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again." So you're gonna have, it's like you're like a drunkard. You're just gonna be back and forth, and these different ICBM missiles are gonna shift up they're gonna mess around with the tectonic plates. The earth is gonna shift back and forth. So for all those people that believe in getting bunkers, hiding in the earth like the elites, you're gonna be getting shooken up. It wouldn't be surprised, like Amos 9:2 says, when the men of the Lord go hide, when the men of the Lord go get these elites, that they're already be dead, because you're gonna have so much shifting in the earth and reeling to and fro that you can't survive in that type of atmosphere.
Yeah, that's why the earth spins.
But I want to continue on this article. from CNN. It's a little bit more. It says missile Agni V is displayed during the Republic Day parade in New Delhi on January 23rd, 2013. So they've already had this in their arsenal about 5 years going back. And there's a little picture, I don't know if you can see it, but they're just basically in the streets parading this thing, you know? Like, you can see it right here. They had a parade back in 2013 and they're just going, you know, going all out with it. So these countries have already had nuclear capability. It's just that you simple ass Americans, man, you don't even know what time it is.
I got a precept out. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? That's talking about America. Because America is the one that's hammering down with their sanctions and war weapons on these other nations. And it has been since a long time. You even had General Clark Wesley had some person or some personnel within the faculty of their military operation that he worked close with, until he told him an inside thing about how it's going to be a lot of wars set up starting with Iraq, and it's going to be terrorist attacks. Like, they got to set up these things so they can take whatever resources and rule over these other nations, such as Libya, which they already done their job. Because you see Gaddafi, which he represented Libya, and he tried to have his money backed by the gold standard. And then their last one on the list was Iran, and he said, why are they doing this? And he was like, well, every problem has to seem like a nail, and we have to beat a hammer. You know, we have to beat a hammer to the nail. You know, a hammer to the nail is nailing down something, you know. And a part of that, too, is America building the elite kingdom. Mm-hmm. So the hammer of the whole earth is going to be cut asunder, because Yahweh Shah set up through the prophecies to destroy this particular nation, which is the nation of Edom, which is you modern day so-called white people.
Come.
Let me read that over again. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Everybody's finding out America's fake. America doesn't deal in raw resources. China, Taiwan, I'm seeing a lot of these things because I work in the warehouse with the brother, and it's like I checked on medium a lot of items, right? Mm-hmm. And yo, they're made in other countries, man.
Right.
So I'm like, damn, how the hell Esau did it? Esau is really, he's really trying to be the kingpin. He has the power now according to the scriptures, right, but he's trying to be the kingpin forever. He's only ruling for a particular time. But I'm just going to show how he's going to be made low amongst these other nations too. Mm-hmm. Because, like I said, the raw materials are coming from these other nations, but Esau's putting out that fake fraudulent or fraudulent throughout it, and perpetrating material. Everything that Esau comes out with is fake, just like starting with that currency, which is the world currency right now, through the IMF, through the powers of the IMF, which was sanctioned or implemented by the elite, the so-called the Rothschilds and the central bankers. They placed that first. It's all according to scriptures. Right. But a lot of these nations are hating this whore because she's not balanced. You know, an unjust balance is abomination to the Lord.
Come.
And plus, the Lord is setting these nations up, according to Joel chapter 3, in the valley of Jehoshaphat, to fight because of us, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, because they touched the apple of the Lord's eye, had us in the Atlantic slave trade, torturing us, always going to war with us, such as the Hamites first. Then we got our top enemy, which is the nation of Edom. So, you know, these nations are tearing down Esau, and it's going to make it desolate. Just like the brothers just read in this article, they test the missiles to go against America.
Right quick for yourself, because you just mentioned it. Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. So just like the brother said, this American society, this American economy, it is in balance. Because what is this American economy really founded on? Consumption, consumerism, meaning that these elites, they know it, and they really set it up that way purposefully. But they know that to make a good, to make a phone, right? It's cheaper to produce that phone in countries that have lower labor rates. That's why they produce all this stuff in China and Taiwan and overseas and Singapore.
That's what happened in Rome too.
Right.
To water the bill on your point. That's what happened in Rome. A lot of rich people sent their work somewhere else instead of in their homeland.
Right.
Go ahead out.
But really
to get cheaper labor.
Right. And then too, you got to think about too, in the American system and society, you have what? All these entitlement programs. You got Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, which all these programs are set up, are really set up in wickedness. Because even to expound on the point, we the nation of Israel, we have a welfare program. You lay aside a certain amount of your production for the poor. But instead of us being able to actually do that, as is given to us through the scriptures, we have to pretty much go to these heathens for the want of all things. But this is the main thing of this American society, is one-sided. Just like the brother said, and the scripture said, a false balance is abomination to the Lord, and a proper weight is his delight. Because what do American society do? They consume, and the economy is really based in the consumption, meaning the Americans don't have to produce anything. They get paid by, once the good gets to America, you got to pay to ship it. You got to pay to store it. You got to pay to sell it. You got to pay to buy it, and then you have to what? Pay to maintain it. So the economy is really based on consumption, and then to build on top of that, the American society is, as the scripture said, is laden with heavy clay, meaning it has an enormous amount of debt. So you're not producing anything, so you're just taking. Then on top of that production, on top of that consumption, you're building up debt. So when you compare the setup of the American society, you really and the economy, you really begin to realize that this society and economy is an abominable.
Yeah.
Because it's not fair and it's not balanced.
And they're gonna take. It's gonna go from putting jobs overseas to now, imports overseas. And now the money's gonna be spent on defense. Another thing that brought Rome to its knees. Spending money on defense, military, your army, so on and so forth. That's why you see all these closings going on. What was the last week? There was a Sam's Club last week. Who knows this week coming in? Today is the January 20th, so you got Monday is 22nd. Who knows what financial report is going to come out saying another major retail chain is going under, because America is using all that money to go into defense.
And to build on this point too, you also got to understand that this is the time that a lot of those store closings and bankruptcies are going to happen, because what just occurred, the biggest time for retail. So what the higher ups do, they know that this is the time to really suck out the resources of the American citizens, because they know these dumbasses are out there consuming at the highest level of the year. So you get as much money out of them as you possibly can, and then you just cut it loose. So you close everything and run with the money, run with the bag.
Which the money is not held by nothing. It's just the powers that be, who the Most High set up, are the wicked. Job chapter 9 verse 24. They're really holding the American dollar up. And plus, it's according to scriptures too, the elect still has to be sealed, even though we're down to the last few. We really don't know how much, but we'll know that we're so close, man, that we put everything together. The elect is almost sealed. We almost out of this place.
A little bit more. Proverbs 11:2. When pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. So what's happening to Esau, the so-called white man, and his way of living now? everybody's looking at it and they're really beginning to put shame on them, man. Like, you know how in certain movies, you know, in medieval times, so to speak, you know, some people have to go through the streets and be like, shame, 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 because all these nations are understanding that Esau's way of living, his philosophy, is destruction. It leads to destruction.
Yeah, it's BS.
And we know that when we compare, align Esau to the scriptures, that he's the basis of man. So of course it's going to get to a point in which that's going to happen, because you pretty much have a full-fledged idiot with the controls.
Yeah.
I got another precept when you finish up.
That's all I had on that.
All right. This is to back you up, the land back what you were saying about these other countries being mad at the United States. This is Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And you know, these other countries, like just like when we started out, we were talking about how South Korea, they bought up the philosophies of, you know, you Americans, you so-called white people, all right? That wine symbolizes philosophies, democracy, the woman being out of order, homosexuality, bestiality, pedophilia, all right? The United States going into your country and setting up these things. And now these countries are mad. That's why you got South Korea and North Korea linking back up, because they're the same people.
Right.
You know, like the brother said, Yankee go home. We even mentioned that at camp today. There's going to be a time where these other countries are so mad, according to the scriptures, according to prophecy, that they're going to be telling these Americans to take their ass back home. Right.
And if I could add to what you said real quick, and then too, because like the precept the brother just brought out, was going into the wine being philosophy. The philosophy of so-called white men doesn't even resonate with other nations. Like, for example, in South Korea, if you do the research, South Korea, the people of South Korea actually have one of the highest savings rates in the world. They naturally, is in their spirit to save, which it actually, I mean, it goes into deflation and things like that. But I say all that to say that the so-called white man is about what? Spend. Credit. Run it up, maximize, you know, get as much as you can, as quick as you can. But for the South Koreans, or the Ammonites and Moabites Moab is, they going off deep end, man. But for them to actually take that wine of philosophy and run with it, it only resonate with their spirit.
Right. Because when King Solomon was ruling, that's a great point. King Solomon was made peaceable amongst these other nations. The whole world rejoiced. What the scriptures say, when the righteous ruled, the people rejoiced, but when the wicked ruled, the people mourning. The people are mourning right now.
Yeah.
The righteousness ain't in rulership. So when, like I said, back to the point the brother was making, these other nations don't move like that. Because it's not fair. We're going to be dealing with these other nations on a high level too in the kingdom of heaven, on a business tip.
And then, you know, with Esau, man, we're talking about him going up and selling his wine and his philosophies. You know, here it is, even this country today, I just turned on the phone once again, and we still, in here in the United States, it's still under this so-called government shutdown. So it's almost been a full day since the government have been shut down. And this article is saying Democrats and Republicans are seeking a deal to reopen the government as they blame each other. That fulfills. Matter of fact, let me get that scripture, man.
Yeah, they can't come up with a damn solution, man.
This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's what we see now with this government shutdown. Democrats blaming Republicans, so on and so forth, but the government is shut down. So you people in America, you know, have this misconception about America being so great, and we're gonna bomb these other countries, man. but you still got problems within your own, your own country, man.
Yeah, like Yahushua said, he said a house that's divided against each other cannot stand. Come on. Go ahead.
That was it on that.
Okay, come. I got scripture.
I had a precept.
Okay, go ahead.
And the beautiful thing about this, I can that's gonna see the video and a few sincere aqua. This is all prophecy, man. And this is why it's so beautiful that we understand this thing, man, and you can actually see it. Because our forefathers have already seen the vision of this and gave it to us. But Psalms 58, I'm gonna start at verse 6 and read to verse 7. Break their teeth, O Yahweh, in their mouth, break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. Because this is what we're doing, man. It all starts first spiritually. We're actually declaring the prophecies of the Most High, man.
Yeah, and that teeth is talking about their armor. Because your teeth is your might to keep you to chew all your foods and stuff like that, so you can go down your throat. And the process of giving your body nutrition is to live, and to live is having power. You can't live without life in you. So the Most High is tearing the teeth out of them, which is their armor. Because what you got in the armor now, you got don't ask, no questions. But then you got transgender, you got whatever you can do in the army. The army is not strict. It's not like the mighty man of King David army. It's none of that stuff, man. These are weak men. But the Lord is waking up those mighty men that was once back in the ancient world that fought against us, that had a good battle, because we fought against the Lord because we the top thing of all the nations. But the Lord is waking up these mighty men, just like the scriptures say, and they're warring against America. Go ahead.
Verse 7. Let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be as cut in pieces.
And they literally all gonna be cut in pieces.
And what's happening, man? Like the brothers bringing out, they're testing and evolving this nuclear technology. Why? Because they're gonna be shot off, and they're gonna destroy this kingdom. That's it. People might want to sit here and argue the fact that it may or may not happen. But the thing about it is, you can't argue the fact that these weapons that the Bible prophesied and spoke about are being created.
You even had two so-called hoaxes this week. One, Hawaii. Well, last week Hawaii having that so-called false missile attack, and then Japan had their own so-called false attack.
Oh, he's threatening North Korea.
Yeah, threatening North Korea. Like the brother Nathaniel keeps saying, man, it's like the boy that cries wolf, man. It's gonna be a certain point where it's gonna be real, and you people don't know what's going on, man. You people have been so dumbed down over stuff like the food, man, that you don't know what's going on. We're telling you whether you hear or forbear, in this year of prophecy. So when it happens, man, you people are so stubborn that it's actually gonna have to take a missile coming over here for you to believe the prophecies that we've been talking about for years.
Yeah, because the Most High said, even in that time of trouble, they're still not going to repent. And two, like you said, they're gonna cry wolf, but they ain't gonna really ain't nobody gonna take it serious. Like you said, the people being passive, and the Most High is gonna let it ring on these people in a dramatic way. Hey, I got a precept too, y'all. This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 31. Well, I'm gonna start from 30. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which that's not our name. Our true biblical name is written in the scriptures. You can look that up in Genesis chapter 49, who we really are, because we're the children of Israel. For he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, which is our enemies. started with the so-called white man and these other heathen nations that are in power right now. And rejoice at thy fall. The Most High is gonna, we're gonna rejoice along with Yahweh Shah. Because they had us in these damn human zoos across the four corners of the earth. They had us as a damn humiliation and shame when they had us in, on them damn ocean blocks in the Atlantic slave trade, these different nations, including Esau being the main chief of all these nations, man, in the business of trade. Because he has that perpetual hatred for us. The Most High is going to put these cities to shame. You know, New York being the main city, but you have Washington, D.C. as the capital, but the elders broke it down. Everything goes through New York.
Yeah.
New York is the image of America, man. Across the four corners of the world. It's the top in fashion. Every rich person goes there to set up business. Matter of fact, that was the first slave auction block in New York. It wasn't even down south, as people look at south as being the first slave area throughout. But it was Manhattan. The Most High is going to put all of these people to shame, man, in a moment, the twinkle of an eye soon. Because we at a low place, man. Even if we prophesy to these people, they still don't believe us because how we look or how we sound. Because the Most High said in the scriptures, he said we should be outskirts, meaning the scum of the earth in these people's eyes. But we are rich because we're making the people, we're laboring, but we're making people rich, man. We laboring for the nation of Israel, even you 2/3. Because you're going to come back in the kingdom of heaven too after you be destroyed. Go ahead.
I would say, if I could say too, man, if you don't believe us, we don't care, man. You know, I mean, let's keep it 100. We really don't care if you believe us. Yeah. Really what we're doing what the scripture tells us to do. We out here fishing for the elect, man.
Right, just like that Jake in D.C., man. He didn't believe us. So the hell with him, man.
We don't care.
Yep. I got a precept. Just to land back on what the brother was saying, man, you know, you got other cities, and you know, the elder in our camp was bringing out how there's going to be major judgment happening to this city here in Atlanta because no judgment has happened. So this is going to be what's going to happen here in Atlanta, LA, Chicago, New York, DC, Philly, Houston, all them cities that you niggas claim killing each other over streets named after the so-called white man. This is what's going to happen to these cities. This is our 2nd Ezra 15 and 17. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's talking about martial law. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Now ultimately that's going to be what we've been talking about, those intercontinental ballistic missiles. But then you've got the gulags, the so-called concentration camps, the FEMA camps, all right, because all these Walmarts and Sam's Clubs have been shut down. Even here in the city that we're in, they shut down a local Kroger food chain, all right, and that's a concentration camp that we can see. You got, you know, cannibalism that's going to be coming back. Matter of fact, verse 19 says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil the goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So we're bringing you the straight skinny. We're going to tell you what's going to happen after these missiles, and we're going to tell you what's going to happen. We're going to tell you what's happening before, during, and after these missiles. And you know, there's going to be, it's not just going to be these missiles, these plagues. That's going to be one of the plagues, but there's going to be a whole bunch of other plagues here in America that's going to take down you people, especially, you know, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and, you know, Native Americans.
Yeah, I want to give this scripture about the prophecy of the ancient world. Y'all can go ahead if y'all got a precept too.
No.
Okay, fine. You got something or not?
Well, I'll continue on. This is now we just talked about what's going to happen here, and this is why the Lord is causing it. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 24. It says, "Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord." All right, who did he give the commandments to? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. I believe that's in Psalms 147 chapter, verses 19 and 20. He showed his statutes unto Jacob, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, so that kills that Christianity doctrine talking about God doesn't hate the person, he hates the sin. He only hates both, okay? Because he says, "Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord." Verse 25, "I will not spare them, go your way, ye children from the power, defile not my sanctuary." Verse 26, "For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he unto death and destruction." So this is why all these nuclear capabilities have been created. This is why we're telling you about martial law and Jacob's trouble, because you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to be going into Jacob's trouble, which you Christians call the Great Tribulation. All right, and they don't tell you all this in the Christian church. They teach you a prosperity doctrine, and this is what God has planned for you. But God has planned for you death and destruction, and that's why we're out there week in, week out, telling you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans of your judgment, along with you other nations.
Listen, man. You know, like, how long is the Most High gonna have us doing this, man? It's gonna get to a point that we're not gonna be doing this no more, man. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, you gotta be blind, deaf, dumb, or stupid to not see what the fuck is it's about to happen. Here it is, the brothers bringing out a news article, credible source, speaking about these nations creating weapons of mass destruction.
And these dumb, sorry to cut you off, but I'm just clicking back on the phone, and these dumbass people is protesting like that's gonna actually do something.
No, keep fucking protesting, man.
Just like though Anonymous.
Right. We saw a camp.
Yeah.
Not doing the goddamn thing, but taking up fucking space, man. Yo, nah, for real.
Yeah.
Protest, man. Protest.
This place
Slightly. Why do we go out here every week? Why do we go out here every week on the weekend where we got 2 so-called weekend days, right? Mm-hmm. You take minimum 50% of that weekend to go out here and prophesy to our people. Why? Because we see and we recognize what's getting ready to happen, and it pisses us off. Mm-hmm. It pisses us off to the point that we go out here and hit the highways and hedges to try to save people who want to be saved. So here it is, you got these governments and super rich and elites, however you want to put it, creating these weapons. They're going to be designed to kill and murder tens of thousands of people. So I say that to say, y'all should be mad, man. Hey, you better be doing something. you go protest.
Right.
This don't piss you off.
Right. Hey, but like the scriptures say though, let the wicked be wicked, and let the holy be holy still. Mm-hmm. Yo, we're fools for Yahweh shall say. That's why we're going out there too. He even said he will prophesy to the wind. Like the magnitude, like the brother just saying, the magnitude and the power behind this article and scriptures that brother bring out week after week and day after day, however the brothers do the work of the Lord, is really should be taken seriously. This is if y'all brothers ain't got nothing else, I can get in the scripture.
Correct.
This is Tobit chapter 14 verse 8, because this is going into the point of the whole matter, man. It's going to be war 3. And you're going to see it in this lifetime.
Come.
Because the Most High set up the prophet Elijah through reincarnation, which was our apostle, our elder, our Bivens. He should come in the last days and change the hearts of the sons and the fathers. And then also you had King David in the latter days. You had all the prophets here in these latter days doing the work, whether they was martyrs or they still here pushing the work. But this particular scripture in Tobit is going into how Tobias, Tobit's son, who walked with Raphael, the archangel, who sent the prayers up to the Most High face to face for the elect, burning incense and whatnot. He seen this kingdom, Nineveh, which was in a great kingdom, which was a Assyrian kingdom in the ancient world, which was sort of like America today, because America gets all its ways from ancient kingdoms, such as Egypt, Babylon, all this stuff, just like Alexander the Great had a library back in Greek. Esau, part of their lineage of Alexander, still holds that thought or style today of gaining all kingdoms and putting it together and making it as his own, and saying that he's going to cap all these nations because he has mastered all these other nations' styles, and no other nation can conquer him, including the children of Israel, because he has us in slavery. Little does he know that great phenomenon which that damn nigger lover Willie Lynch, who's going to be one of the brother slaves in the kingdom of heaven, he taught that 300 years of putting our people in captivity, they learn his ways, that he said is going to be a great phenomenon to end it if the plan of 300 years of slavery, putting our people in that mind state of keeping us subjected under the so-called white man, it's going to have to be a great phenomenon to break that spell, which is Yahweh Shah. But Tobias, our forefather, he's seen it, and we're going to see it in his lifetime. This is Tobit chapter 14 verse 8. Chapter 14 verse 8. And now, my son, depart out of Nineveh, because that those things which the prophet Jonas spake surely shall come to pass. But keep thou the law and the commandments, and show thyself merciful and just, that it may go well with thee. Now it says in verse 15, jumping down to verse 15, it says, but before he died, he heard of the destruction of Nineveh. Matter of fact, let me go to verse 13. Verse 13, where he became old with honor, and he buried his father and mother-in-law honorably, and he inherited their substance and his father Tobit's. It's talking about Tobias. And he died at Ecbatana in Media, being 127 years old. But before he died, he heard of the destruction of Nineveh, which was taken by Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, and Osiris. And before his death, he rejoiced over Nineveh. Let's talk about Tobias, the son of Tobit. He saw the prophecy, destruction of Nineveh, which the prophet Jonah was prophesying about in the book of Jonah. And we're going to see this same downfall, Lord willing, will be of the elect. We're going to see the same downfall in this kingdom. So with that, we want to give all praise and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah,
Wa Kodash, Ha Rakah, Kwam the elect, Shalom.
Shalom.